very shortly.
Hello, my friends.
That's how I announce. That's how people know I'm cool, because I use the his house.
His
Yes.
His?
We're all going to be in the his house gang. Come on, guys.
I had one other piece of paper. Where did that go?
I don't know.
Leftover from poop.
I don't know. Do you need to find it?
Yeah, I think it might be there.
There you go. Do that.
Pre-show. Turn it over. Yeah, here we go. There it is.
Okay, you have what you need?
I do.
I see some people. Oh my gosh. Steve Rickyberg, Robin Tracy, Tracy, Sean, Maria. My colleague is in his house. Hello, fellow rappers. Let's all go to the his house and get crunkin'. Hello, Julie. Wow. Jason Nelson and the Nelson McClintock, Kim, Bill. Oh my gosh.
Did you turn off monitors?
Oh, thanks, sweetie.
Sure.
There it is. It's even on the checklist. Oh my God. Shannon's in the house. Brian Kane.
Hi,
what's
sis.
up, buddy? Sherry, David, Joshua. Aloha, sir. Hello. Exactly, Maria. Hello, fellow youths. All right, baby. Are you ready to go to the live?
Well, I guess so.
Well, I realize I haven't adjusted my cameras, so
so
we'll do that on the fly.
We'll do it live.
3, 2, 1. Hello, everyone. How the heck are you? We're going to adjust a little bit right there.
Hi, guys.
Welcome.
Hey, Lonely Bob.
Welcome to Lonely Bob's
We
house.
did change the day for Sigler-in-Place.
Yes.
We are now doing once a week, on Wednesdays instead of twice a week on Tuesdays and Thursdays. We're doing that because we're ramping up to figure out how to ship the gangster to all of you lovely faces. And we need a lot more time for that.
Yeah, and frankly, it just got to be too overwhelming. It's cutting into writing time a little bit, and we love doing this. But we're doing this, and then we should be adding a Twitch show, Headlines of the Week, very soon. But that is much less prep. That is going to be just me BSing off the top of my head. Unlike the incredibly polished show that you see before you right now. Babe, let's check your camera, because I haven't done that correct yet. How's that look to you? Good?
Hi, guys. How are you? Happy New Year. We've been here, but not here, but here, but not here. And now we're back.
And now I got the hiccup burps, which is
that's very professional
very
and fun.
Professional, very attractive.
Mm-hmm.
That is why I am a polished, sophisticated.
Hey, Jenny, nice to see you. Hey, Kim, nice to see you. Kent Lawley, always good to see you.
Kent Lawley, sweet. I am a sophisticated author that occasionally gets the hiccup burps. That is why I am feted and awarded so many awards, because of my hiccup burps. All right, babe.
Well, I guess we're already started. We should go on with this.
Here's what we got coming up in this episode. This is going to be a pretty laid-back episode. Also, I have a new desk, which I will show you in future episodes.
I think they can probably sort of tell that the setup's a little bit different.
A little bit different.
Yeah.
In this episode, we've got a bunch of Siglerbrations, because we're behind on that. Mm-hmm. We've got pup dates. We've got Junkie pics. We've got Junkie pup pics. Mm-hmm. We have this Sunday coming up at ScottSigler.com, on iTunes, on Spotify, all the places. We have the Gangster episode number 7. We're already almost 2 months into the Gangster. Can you believe that?
It's crazy. Yeah. Well, yeah. A month into the Gangster.
Well,
right?
it's 7. It's 7 weeks. It's once a week. So by episode 8, we're
2 months
2 months. 2 months in. Time is just flying by. It's the older I get, the faster time flies by. And of course, today is, ladies and gentlemen, this is amazing. One of my favorite days of the year. Rubber ducky, you're the one. You make bath time so much fun. Squeaky, squeaky on your bum. This is inappropriate rubber ducky time.
I am absolutely amazed. I did not know you had an Ernie voice. Why is there not an Ernie voice in the GFL, dude? That was amazing. My brother, who's in the chat room, you guys know Jude Stenson is my brother. My brother has an enormously beautiful Kermit the Frog impersonation. So at every bar mitzvah we went to as kids, at weddings, and he would, why are there so many? He would sing that. Epic.
Brian Kane said something very sweet. Is it possible that the Siglers got better looking since the last? And the answer, of course, Brian, is yes. Every day I look in the mirror and I'm like, God, you did it again. How do you do
Lord's
it?
Sakes.
How do you do it? And we also have, just in case we run out of content, we go to the chat room. I got a rubber ducky gif in the chat room. That's what I do. I got tons of stuff going on.
Good.
Yeah,
that's a very weird gif.
It's going to make me vomit before the end of the show.
That's a super weird gif with the tiles. Speaking of tiles, Kim, I see that you're in the chat room, and I'm guessing that Smorg may or may not be in the chat room. We got a couple of lovely Christmas presents, one from Kim Hansen, which I I'm not going to show tonight, but I am going to show you guys next Wednesday. And then also some Morg sent a handful of great sweet treats. And so thank you both for thinking of us for the holidays. You also reminded me that I needed to fix my post office box since we no longer live downtown. But good news, we got that done. So we'll show you guys that at the next SIGLERinPLACE. They're very lovely. Thank you so much, Kim.
You guys, we turned that off. Today's Siglocktail, we're going to go to the graphic anyways. We didn't make a Siglocktail, but the first Siglerbration of the night will determine what we are, the beverage we are having. Because this is, as of January 1st, 2021, we have been independent operators on the Audible for a decade. So now we've been putting out our own books at ACX on Audible for a decade. That is our primary revenue stream, is the books we're selling on Audible. So we started that many, many years ago. So A's got a fun story to tell you. But before we get going, we've got some bubbly.
So
that's what we do. That's how we do it.
If you don't know this and you're just joining SIGLERinPLACE and you haven't either seen a SIGLERinPLACE or been to a Siglerfest, I am a firm believer that you celebrate the wins, even if they're tiny wins. Because, I mean, if you guys live through 2020, the same 2020 we lived through, or geez, if you've been in 2021, the same 2021 we've been in, you want to do that. You want to celebrate when you can celebrate, because you can't. I don't think you snip a cork for shit.
But it looks smoothie.
It does.
It looks like I know what I'm doing.
So I'm a big fan of celebrating the wins, and no matter what they are, as you guys know. So we have been on Audible for 10 years as independent do-it-yourself folks. We started that after hosting Audible.
Other camera.
Yeah. After hosting our audiobooks at scottsigler.com. And that is a hugely, hugely difficult process to do correctly, because those files are gigantic. A lot of times I'll get a customer service email saying, "Hey, something happened? Can you just email me the files?" But they're so big, like you can't even send them through like WeTransfer or something like that. They're just too big. And so it was too much to do. And I was super duper, absolutely reticent about moving to Audible. We had Blood is Red done. And Scott was like, "Let me just try it with one book. I'll do it non-exclusive so that we can still keep it up at our site." And I was like, "Oh, yes.
Cheers.
Cheers, baby. 10 years.
10 years, a decade. Here we go.
So many things have changed for us. So you guys will love this. So like Scott said, right now audiobooks are our biggest, the biggest moneymaker that we have. This is the reason we're able to stay in business and do things like we were able to do things like Siglerfest. We're able to commit time to do this, which is not revenue generating.
Did pay for Siglerfest quite a bit.
Yeah. And it's paid for quite a lot of our career, and it gives us time to do things like this that don't generate revenue. I was super upset, and my argument, look. This is a completely inaccurate impression of A, but this in my brain, this is what A looks like when she digs in her heels and does not want to do something. It looks like this. I mean, I don't frown as much as I squinch up my mouth like this.
She doesn't
like
do that at all.
Somebody farted or something,
in my
which
memory,
is probably likely.
Okay, go ahead, baby.
But my argument was this: Scott, we make on average $425 a quarter. And I don't want to give up money just for two in the bush.
Yeah. And I was like, baby, I think Audible and ACX is going to be a big deal.
I mean, they have a bigger reach than we do. Why don't we try it with one book? And in 1 month, Blood is Red, which is one of our lowest selling books,
for sure.
Made more money than all the color collection series had made in its entirety at scottsigler.com in 1 month. So I had to give up the ghost.
Cheers to you guys, because none of our highfalutin champagne living fancy high in the hog life would be happening without you. We think you're awesome. Zika Baby That Lived. Weren't you on Audiobooks as well? Yes, I was one of the first on Audiobooks along with Mark Jeffrey and T. Morris.
That's actually the first time I heard you.
Oh,
fabulous.
Audiobooks.
Yeah.
It changed my life, dog.
It's how I became friends with Evo and Sheila as well, because I sent you could pay if you wanted at Audiobooks, and I listened to everything Scott had, and then I sent essentially like a nice big tip, sort of.
Oh yeah.
And Evo reached back out, and he's like, is there a missing decimal point there or something? Because I think it might have been like $200, and he thought it should be like $20. But I was like, well, I listened to all these books, so I would like that. And he was like, okay, that's proof of concept for my idea of patio books. And then we became friends.
Welcome, Lakshman. Good to see all of you in the house. We got a little bit of a crowd here. So
I know, and Uncle Nearest enjoyed that, Chris McWhite.
And here we go.
Angela.
You guys, another thing that when we got a wonderful Christmas present from, can we say who it was?
Yeah,
from
your best friend. You can say that.
Doctors Baker Peril combination. They are. That's a smart family.
And he just joined.
That's a smart family.
Dr. Baker just joined.
2 doctors so far.
And
2 doctors so far.
And Dr. Daniel Baker, who is in the house right now, he just joined in the house, believes he is the 3rd smartest person in his home.
Dr. Daniel Baker, PhD, and fam sent us a bottle of bubbly, a very nice bottle of bubbly.
Very nice bottle of Dom.
That we are saving. I think we'll be able to consume it next week for something that is very exciting and special to me.
Hey,
it
boss.
makes me all tingly, and I will share with you guys what it is now. Ladies and gentlemen, Mount Fitzroy that I've been banging and scraping and clawing at forever. We are on the precipice. Actually, hold on. No, we're going to do it live. Do it live! We're on the precipice of reaching 1,000 reviews faster than any other book I've put up to reach 1,000 reviews.
And that has everything to do with you guys.
You can't see it. It's very tiny. 978. If I refresh it, it is still 978. But it's 978. It was below 950 just yesterday. So it is a very big, girthy, turgid, swollen book that just crams its way into your auditory canal. And what?
Go ahead.
Oh, and it's taken a while for people to read it. So it
is 30 hours long.
It's 30 hours long. If you haven't left a review, please do over at Audible. Rate and review. It's very helpful to us. We appreciate it. When we get to 1,000 reviews, which I think will be passed in the next couple of days, easily by next Wednesday, we will be consuming the Fancy Pants Baker Peril bottle of champagne.
Absolutely. That's a great idea. Why don't you put that bottle of champagne in the
that would
insulator?
make a lot more sense.
Yeah, that would make a lot more sense. And I will tell you guys this, another little, here's how my crazy brain works. We got this lovely gift, and I think we got it maybe a week or two before Christmas in case we wanted to drink it over the holidays. And we did, and we were going to have it at Christmas, on Christmas Eve, and then we didn't. And because it's got to be the right idea. It's got to be the right reason. And then we're going to have it on New Year's. But then on New Year's, we had, of course, maybe started celebrating a little early, and then I didn't want to waste it. And poor Dr. Daniel Baker, PhD, literally, I think probably said, like, did you guys, I've not tried it. Did you like it? And we keep having to say, like, okay, we're not ready. So now we're absolutely ready. When we get to 1,000 Fitzroy reviews in a little over a month, which is insane, we're going to do that. And hopefully we're going to do it next week on camera with you guys.
It's quite thrilling. And I will tell you guys this. The other thing that all the rating and reviewing has done is Audible is thrilled. Just thrilled with the results of this book. Now, granted, this isn't Stephen King numbers. This isn't Brandon Sanderson numbers. They know that. They knew that getting into it. But our editor he sent me an email like, look at all these reviews, and it's a 4.9. And it made his whole day. So we appreciate it because it shows the other people we're working with at Audible that the product they help put out is appreciated and enjoyed, which is what they're all in it for, just like us.
Yeah.
Just like us.
Ed Keith, I'm glad you're here. I want you to stick around if you can for at least another 10 minutes or so. I have something that you might like. Also, Sis, nice to see you. Hi, Shannon.
Let's go. I got to go to more here. And first, I got to go back up. Got to turn off your camera. I got to go to more. And then, wait, no.
I don't know what's going on.
I'm going to tell you in a second, for crying out loud. Here we go. You ready? You ready? We have a new Story Smack coming up, you guys. It's going to be very, very fun. One of my favorite action adventure stars from my youths. We're going to be watching Executive Decision.
Oh, Lord.
Steven Seagal and Kurt Russell. Why? Because there will be a new president. So we had to show a movie about presidential things.
It's true. And as you guys know...
Wait, did we confuse this with the Harrison Ford movie? We did. No. Is there a president in this movie?
It's Executive Decision. Yes, there's a president in this movie.
Is Steven Seagal the president? I've never seen it.
Well, I'm not going to.
Is Kurt Russell the president?
I'm not going to reveal any of this, but I will tell you Halle Berry's in it.
Is Halle Berry the president?
I'm not going to reveal.
What about this guy? Is that guy the president?
No, doesn't he look? Well, who looks? And who
that
was
guy
that?
Looks very,
who was that?
He looks very presidential to
who
me.
Who was that woman?
I don't know.
That was Marla Maples.
I don't know.
Trump.
We're probably going to get a copyright strike just for showing you this trailer because that's how things go. PM Wood, that's your favorite Seagal movie. Gosh darn it! Now I can't remember my favorite Seagal movie. Danny Baker in the chat room. Which Seagal movie said, "If you're lying to me, I'm going to come find you
and me,
and I'm going to kill you in your own kitchen." I think that's Marked for Death. It might be Marked for Death. I love.
Yes,
anyways, Saturday 123.
Yeah, Maria is correct. You are thinking of Air Force One.
Yes,
that is not the
which
movie
is
we're
another
watching.
Presidential plane where I believe
there's Halle Berry.
There's Halle Berry. Yep.
Go,
okay,
go,
and we're
go.
gonna switch back over, but that is coming up on the 23rd, which is in a couple weeks, right? Mm-hmm. And if you are in need of some fun, go watch that movie, and then we will of course be breaking it down with Empty Set Movie Maven and the 58th president of the United States, Rob Otto. Mm-hmm. Yes. Mm-hmm. Rob Otto was complaining that he didn't get to win any of this thing, so I'm just going to make him the president.
That sounds good.
Okay.
And you made him roller derby champion?
Oh, he was the surfing champ of Erie, Pennsylvania. Number one, baby. Number one.
That's not a thing. So here's the thing. We are absolutely going to be there on the 23rd. We are not going to have a SIGLERinPLACE next Wednesday. Next Wednesday in the United States is the inauguration. January has been a little crazy.
Yeah.
And we are preemptively just saying...
Well, we're gonna modify that. We have a guest scheduled to come on, even though I'm not sure when he's scheduled to come on, but he may have arranged a free book for the day he comes on. So we have to check with him and double check, because I'm just, honestly, I've been watching the news, trying to finish up books. I'm extremely scattered, but if we can avoid it, we will, because
Taylor, nice
we
to see
have
you out there.
we have 10,000 troops in the nation's capital and National Guardsmen sleeping in the Capitol building, and a lot of crazy stuff going on. And a lot of agencies think that some bad stuff is going to go down on the day of the inauguration.
So we want to make sure you guys have time to do what you need to do, and we have time for him to doom scroll.
That might be that also might be time to be on the chat with fam, etc. But we will let you know. Watch at facebook.com/ScottSigler. Of course, I will also tweet all of this stuff, and we will put it on the community. Oh snap! Wait, baby, wait.
Oh.
If you are not, hold on, there it is. If you are not following me on the community chat app, you should send a text to this number. You'll get an automated reply to which you have to respond. Then you get another automated reply. So if you're talking to me like it's me talking to you, it is me, but it's automated. But when you do that, we send out notifications all the time for shows like this, for the weekly podcast episode, and for other news in general. But just throw a text to that, and then you will be on the list, and we'll let you know what's going on next week. All right, baby.
We have Siglerbrations, and we have a whole lot of them. We have a handful of birthdays that we missed while we were gone. Our good friend Angela Clark is in the chat room, and she had a big birthday. Congratulations and happy birthday to you, my dear. We're drinking champagne. Ginia Gonay, also in the chat room tonight. She had a birthday on the 7th, and we missed it because we didn't do a cast last week, and now we're back. That's the first day since the 7th. Today is Empty Set's own Tori Duke Pond. Her birthday is today, and she is celebrating, hopefully not on the cast, because she is celebrating at home with her husband and her daughter. Mm-hmm. Let's see. These are things I think I should have done on the 6th, and then we canceled the 6th. So if all this sounds familiar, you guys will let me know. But
we were canceled by the insurrection.
These are things that sometimes happen. That's a normal thing you say out loud.
That happens all the time.
2021, that's a thing. Lisa Sutton's daughter, Lainey, submitted a 4-page story to a competition and they're in Texas, and it got accepted, and Lisa thinks it's incredible, and that was in all caps, incredible. And so great work, Lainey. Congratulations. I'm sure it is incredible.
I will throw in an unexpected Siglerbration, which is more of a tease than anything else. There is one junkie that I'm aware of who is finishing up a book and moving on to book 2 in the book, and it could be years before it comes out, but just in case that person is watching or listening, we are
I know who you're talking about.
Close attention.
We're excited. Yeah. Would you refill these for the next 2? So we have 2 that I'm going to call Siglerbrations, even though They may be a little bit different than what you've heard. We are going to celebrate. If you guys are drinking something, if you guys are having any sort of a celebratory drink, I would like you to raise your glasses. We have two. Ed Keith, who I mentioned a few moments ago.
Sorry.
Ed Keith and his dad.
Making noise.
Ed Keith and his dad are junkies, and his dad, he knew that this last holiday season may be his dad's last, and one of the things that he emailed us and said, and this was back a while ago, it wasn't last month, was like, he's hanging on until he can hear Fitzroy. And Ed, so sorry for the loss of your pops. I'm sure he was a great, great man. Also, he got to finish Fitzroy before he finished up and headed on out. So not congratulations. Condolences to you.
This is my uncomfortable laughter. I've told you guys about this before. Very uncomfortable laughter, but still, I think that's awesome because you wonder when you hold off on the end of a series or a book, you're like, how many people wanted to hear this and they didn't make it because I didn't finish up quick enough.
And Ed shared that his dad was like, how do you think this stuff, like, what? He didn't say it this way, but he sort of said, like, his dad sort of felt like, how do you think this crazy shit up? What is wrong with that man? Also, Daniel Walter lost his father-in-law last month to lung cancer. And I just want to say, roll tide for him. And we're sorry. We're sorry for your loss, and we're glad that you're sharing it with this community.
We celebrate their lives.
Absolutely.
We celebrate your memories of them. You know what? We always celebrate the wins here at Empty Set, and I think that just getting the chance to have someone in your life like that and say goodbye to them, that is a huge win because so many people don't have that, and it's awesome.
Lots of people, and I'm one of them. I didn't have a great relationship with my pops, and I understand he did the best he could in life, but it wasn't necessarily the best for me, and so I love to hear people who got to do that and people who have that in their lives. And I have a ton of love in my life as well. So condolences to both of you, and we will raise a glass and think fondly of them. We do, I think.
Is that
it?
It
might be. Let's see.
Okay. Because I got more stuff, man. I got stuff. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying, fellow rappers?
the hello, fellow kids.
Hello, fellow rappers. Let's get crunkin'.
Wow. If you guys have anything to celebrate or potentially crunk, you can email info@emptyset and send us anything. Information about birthdays, about condolences, about celebrations, about anniversaries.
Uncomfortable laugh again.
Pictures of your pups, pictures of your favorite thing. Anything you want to celebrate, we're here for you. Send that to info@emptyset.
All right. We are at, for the 17th show in a row, I've forgotten to flip the awesome 1 hour long hourglass, but it's pretty on the desk.
It's one of his favorite Christmas gifts he forgets to use every day.
I forget to use it all the time. We are now to the point where we're going to talk about some other people who are maybe not as fortunate as we are at this particular time.
Absolutely. As you guys know, we focus on a charity every week. This one is called Give Directly, and there's not a ton to say about Give Directly other than that their name is exactly what they do. They give cash resources.
Get that cash.
To people all around the world. They've done that for years and years and years because, sometimes that's the thing that helps more than anything else. And during COVID, especially all around the world, but especially in the United States, there is an enormous amount of folks who have been furloughed, folks who have lost their jobs, folks who have been sick and can't go to work, and they are in danger of losing their houses or their apartments, or they can't get groceries and they have a growing family or things like that. So Give Directly is one of my favorite charities. I've donated to them over the years quite a lot because they manage, and they're totally realistic. If you go to I don't need you to go to their Q&A, but if you see their Q&A, I think the third question is, won't these people just buy booze? And they're like, yeah, some people buy booze. It doesn't happen as much as you think.
Just because someone's down on their luck does not mean they're a crackhead. These things do not go hand in hand.
Right, but you worry that you're not really helping. You're just helping them hurt themselves more or something like that.
Yeah.
And so they address this. So they're frank. They're real time. They understand the boots on the ground. I love them a lot. I think they're a great charity. If you have extra in your budget and you want to give directly, you can do that at this site. If not, if you want to share this, I will tell you, I've donated to them for probably a decade now.
Wow, baby.
And I have never been disappointed. So I've never been, that was definitely a scam or anything like that. I think they do great work. And this is a thing not a lot of people can do safely. So I love them. That's our sponsor for this week.
And let's go back to the main real quick. Did you also let people know, did you mention this?
I did.
You
This-
did? Okay, cool. I wasn't.
This
I was.
part?
I was busy making fart jokes in the chat room.
You definitely were.
So that's
Big
our
surprise.
sponsor. Now we get to the part of the show that everybody loves the most. At least I love the most. It's a great part of the show. We'll go to the more button. Boop. Turn that off. Boop. Turn that off. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for the pup date. Oh snap! Who's that little buddy up in the upper right hand corner? That's the Squeaks.
That's the squeakers being very disappointed in Mr. Man. Very disappointed in Mr. Man. I have been sitting here on your lap for an hour, and there are no treats present, Mr. Man.
She'll just sit on my lap and she'll stare at me until I laugh uncomfortably. You can see that I'm doing in this picture back
Look
when
at
I
that
had my
glorious
luxurious face lettuce. It's a Joshua Loya caliber beard.
He's got a great
The
beard.
Joshua caliber beard I once had. I may grow back again, but now this is all very, very, very fancy. Sasquatch Sig, as Danny Baker puts it. And then the big pup picture, we have both of them, of course. And there we go. Also drinking the champagne because we finished a book. In that picture, I finished a book. I don't know
That
which
was
one.
Phalanx, I
Jesus,
think.
look at that beard. What is going
I
on?
think that's Phalanx. I think that one was
That is
Phalanx.
like an 8 tarantula orgy on my face. It's out of control.
You're the one who said it. I didn't say it.
The best part, amongst many, there's a lot of ties. One of the best parts about being married to A is when I have this beard, she's like, that looks awesome. I love it. I have that crazy 8 tarantula orgy crawling about my face. That looks awesome. I love it. I have nothing. That looks awesome. I love it. It's quite fun.
You know why?
Why?
Your body, your choice, dude.
Well, okay.
Your body, your
I would
choice.
prefer to think it's because like, oh, I mistook you for the
Sasquatch? Because
David
Sasquatch,
statue by Michelangelo. That's what I thought it was.
I mean, he doesn't have a lot of hair. Have you seen
No,
it?
he doesn't. But sometimes A comes home like from a store run or a post office run, and is like, "Who let the Rock in here?" I'm like, "No, baby, that's me. It's not the Rock. It's me." Happens all the time. It happens all the time. But,
You have to show me your fuzzy butt so I know for sure it's you.
To be fair,
None of that is true.
We've never seen the Rock's posterior in that capacity, so we
Speak for
don't.
yourself.
We don't. Oh, come on, that's naughty. That's
Not seen the
that's
Rock's
super
fuzzy
naughty.
butt.
Now here we go, and now my other favorite part of the show is boom. Oh, it's time for everybody else's
you guys.
pups. Who are these
These
two?
are everybody else's
Who are
pups.
these two straight troublemakers?
First, I will tell you guys, a handful of you sent in more pup pictures, and I'm so grateful because this is my favorite part. This one's my favorite part of the show. So if you don't see them here, we're definitely getting to them. Don't you worry. This, as you guys know, on the left of this photo, that is our dear girl, Stella Bella. That
Stella Bella Boo.
is Stella, who belongs to the goddamn dog sitter,
Yep.
and her husband, Jim. And in lockdown, they have acquired a second dog. That little pickle on the right is Cordelia. And Cordelia in this photo
Cordy.
looks a lot the same size as her sister, but she's incredibly long. You'll see several photos of Cordelia over time. One of the big, as you guys know, we're so sad to have had to move out of the office last year.
Yeah, it was a bummer.
And there are a lot of bummers about it. One of the biggest bummers is that we don't get to see Stella as much as we did, and we don't get to see Amy or Jim as much as we did, and that's one of the hardest things about this. That said, had we still had the office and had there not been a pandemic, Cordelia would be coming to the office. Cordelia is now 6 months old. She's a terror, but she's the most adorable terror, and I can't wait to smooch her 10,000
Oh my
times.
God! Also, people seem to be pleased with A Tarantula Orgy. We have people saying that's the name of their band. Also, Dan Baker just says the Ocho. It's the Ocho.
And Sean Dyer had the best response. He'd like, I would need to set my face on fire. I agree.
All right, hold on.
So this was Stella and
it's getting hot in here,
Cordelia
and the fans
celebrating,
aren't set up yet. So I'm gonna...
celebrating, obviously celebrating New Year's Eve this year, and she's a cutes patoots.
All right. Also, this looks like one of those pictures where Stella on the left is like, "Don't make me introduce you to my compatriot." And then you look on her left. There's a compatriot.
And if any of you follow Little Bitty Pity on Facebook or Instagram, if you don't, you should, because Stella is the
right.
Little Bitty Pity. But Stella calls her sister the sister she never wanted, but endures. And Stella's 6 and Cordelia's 6 months old, so you can imagine that's a
all right.
handful.
Next one is who is this, buddy?
Oh my goodness, I love this. So our friend Shelba Pittman, who is often in the chat room, but I'm not sure if she's here tonight. Shelba Pittman, over the holidays, found a new man. This dangerous, dangerous, dangerous dog is Bowser. And Bowser came home sometime in the last couple, 2-3 weeks.
Oh my God, he's so
and
cute.
is
so cute.
cute.
Look at that peanut. Oh my goodness.
So cute. And I am terrified. I am absolutely afraid of that dog.
Why are you afraid of the dog?
Oh, I mean, because there's a sign that says I should beware of that dog.
Well, the dog is at the right height, that with a proper push off on the back feet, proper form, proper elevation,
here,
they can bite you right into privates. Just
I was thinking this.
Right down, bite on the.
Because my face will be right close to that dog kissing
can
him.
bite on either the wiener or the schnooze. Either way.
Wow.
Yeah, the snooch. The snooch. Bite him on the.
Lord sakes, no more champagne for you. Robin, I miss Stella too. You feel me? Isn't Bowser a great name, Joshua? Bowser is
He's a
perfect
great
for this
name.
tiny little peanut who
He's such a
reminds me of
cute
my
buddy.
own peanut a
Cute
little bit.
buddy.
Yeah,
All right.
and she's just totally, Shelba is just totally besotted with Bowser, and I understand why. I am too.
All right. And of course, ladies and gentlemen, you may send pictures of your pet to info@emptyset.com.
So before you move forward,
All
I
right.
need you to know,
All right.
and I know you haven't seen this yet.
Oh, this is another goodbye pic?
Nope.
Okay, good.
But the next two photos, Simorg
I only have one
sent
more,
in.
I think, but we'll see. Good.
I think you have two.
Uh-huh.
And Simorg sent in, and she asked that you, once we see them and meet them, you do a ring walk up.
Oh, I get to see them first. Maria also says she loves Bowser and would defend Bowser with her life.
I know, and that would be worth it.
And ready?
I am. So this is one of our dogs. This is Stormy, but his full name is actually Stormageddon, Bark Lord of All. He is a 7-year-old
gosh.
Catahoula leopard dog. And he's a-
Catahoula what?
Catahoula leopard dog. Actually, he's a Brie Confit dog.
What does that mean? These
That's
aren't
made up.
even English words.
The first one is his actual breed. The second one I made up. It's two foods. Anyway, this is Stormy.
Okay, this is
Stormageddon.
Stormageddon.
Smorg says he's a total ham, and I love him.
Mm-hmm. And then the next dog
photo,
is?
This.
Oh, come on.
Look
Look at this peanut.
This is Cassidy. She is a 16-year-old greyhound.
What? Holy cow.
And Smorg says, but please nobody tell her that she's actually 16. And she's an escape artist, too. And Simorg has asked, these belong to her best friend. And
Okay.
Simorg has asked that you do a ring walk up that she can share. So I see that you're in there, Simorg, if you're ready.
Stormageddon.
Stormageddon is the
Cassidy.
Catahoula, and Cassidy is this one.
Okay.
Oops.
Here we
Actually, that is a pretzel. You are correct, Maria.
go. Here we go. Let me get queued up here.
Dum, dum, dum.
Nelson, hit mute. I know you don't like this. Just hit mute. It'll be okay.
I love that after Sparkle Horse,
And
you preemptively apologize.
I'll wave when I'm done, Nelson. Nelson trucks no bunk. He trucks
and he works
zero,
so super hard for us.
Zero
he
bunk.
Does so much for the junkie. So you gotta do that. You gotta
All right,
do
ready?
it right.
Ready?
I am.
Bring down. Got it? Okay, we go. Ladies and gentlemen, pet lovers of all ages, for the thousands watching here and the millions who will be watching on the post-broadcast once it is streaming on all streaming services, the WWE would like to introduce a title match for the heavyweight championship of the world, the Intercontinental Belt. Our contestant number one, hailing from the clouds of Odin, hailing from the center of the hurricane, it is none other than Stormy Stormageddon, Bark Lord of all, Stormy. And Stormy's opponent,
Stormy.
recently released from prison where the dog was sentenced to 16 years for biting a snooch when there was no snooch that should have been bitten. Ladies and gentlemen, the tenacity that is Cassidy, the greyhound of all destruction. I already said Cassidy. Cassidy.
That was epic.
Turn that off. Nelson, we're done.
Actually, he said he doesn't mind the reverb at all.
Oh, good. We do try and take care of Nelson because Nelson takes care of us. Quite a bit. That was our ring walk up. And then now, oh my God, those dogs are so cute.
Aren't they the cutest?
Let's go
thing
back
ever?
to, we got to go to Junkie Pics. Boom. This, ladies and gentlemen, this is how much I love all of you. Me and my giant, swollen, inflated, girthy ego have
I need that.
relegated myself to a very tiny little shrunken shrinkage picture just so that we can show you guys this. And here we go. Baby, the first picture. Boom.
First picture. Oh my goodness. She's a absolute gorgeous friend to a whole bunch of junkies. She is also married to our good friend. The continuities are John Vizcarra. This is Kim Vizcarra. And when we announced that today was Rubber Ducky Day, he instantly sent us this photo from 2011. Is Kim and Kim, they went to a party back when we could do parties, back when that was okay, where everybody dressed as a made-up superhero or a made-up supervillain. Kim went as the bathroom bandit, and her job was to steal all the rubber duckies. And look at how successful of a villain that she actually is.
Steal all the rubber duckies. Also, she's ready with the feces brush to clean out the toilet, the caked on splatterage.
Exactly, yeah.
I have still not sworn this entire episode, you guys.
So,
I've not put $1 in.
Emily McGregor says, FYI, this cam keeps going in and out of focus. We have gone back and forth about turning off the autofocus.
Hold on. You know what? No, I get you. Thank you. We can fix that.
We can totally fix it. Sometimes if we don't do that, it gets a little... If we do that, it gets a little fuzzy, but we're going to go ahead and turn off the autofocus.
We need to add that to the script too, babe, because it goes off. I am unable to...
Yeah, there's no way to set it as a permanent
there's no
preset. Yeah, but you can do that. So we turn off the autofocus.
Okay,
and that should help. Thank you so much, Emily.
Okay, and then we're going to go back here. Also, you're not supposed to point at the camera like I do.
He points at the camera. He also threw the champagne cork at the camera. I don't think you're supposed to do that either.
I sniffed it first, though, which is very important.
I mean, it's the only way you know if champagne is good.
I believe that Angela would tell us you must sniff the cork. It's a fact.
No, not a champagne
What's
cork.
This?
This is, so we just mentioned Simorg because those dogs belong to her best friend. Simorg over Christmas spent a little time making a Greedock and a Hokor for you guys. And this is, obviously, Greedock is the one in the very fancy silver thread saying, have a profitable new year. And then there's Hokor. And this is not the first iteration of Hokor that Simorg's ever made.
It's so good. My God,
he
that's
is
amazing.
wishing you a Merry Quithmas. And I know it's a little past Christmas. We were going to do this on Little Christmas, which is why I saved them all for then. But then, things went kind of crazy. So, anyhow, this is Greedock and Simorg. It's Greedock and Hokor, not Simorg, wishing you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
R.I.P. Here we go. And next one. What? Oh, my God.
So this is
Don't
really
look,
cool.
Nelzone. Don't look. Okay.
So this is from John Vizcarra. He said, this is a little out of focus, but I'm going to send you a picture from the back. If you guys missed the last handful of Siglerplaces, John is recovering from a surgery to address his cancer and is recovering at home. And one of our friends, Nick Bass, I can never say Nick's last name.
Betts. I prefer the name Nick Betts. You know why? Because when he goes to the track, they're like, ask Nick Betts because he bets right. That's what it is.
So they actually live close to each other, and they met at Siglerfest, and Nick and his wife and John and Kim have become friends. And in his recovery, Nick brought over this handmade sparkle horse ornament. And it's an eggshell. So if you look at it now, he said, I know it's a little out of focus. I've taken a picture from the inside, but
very cool.
It's an eggshell so that it's on his Christmas tree and the lights from behind glow up sparkle.
I would like to point out that Nelson just says, boo.
Yeah.
Boo.
I didn't know you had the trickle tickle mania, Shannon.
What?
She said too many holes.
I know. What the hell is she talking about?
I'll show you later. It's a skeeviness about too many holes.
Yes. Also, to be fair, it's kind of all the time. Shannon will say something like, "What the hell is she talking about? What is this? I don't know what this is," and I have to look it up. And it's sometimes a cool thing.
As he's writing all the notes, like look this up later.
All right, is that it, baby? That's all the junkie pics, right?
No.
There was one more.
All right, I think there's one more. It's a video, and I wanted to share this with you.
Yes.
So you guys, this next thing that you're going to see, this person is a junkie, and he sent this to Scott as a Christmas present.
As usual, if there's a volume spike, I will try and manage it. But let's see how we do. Here we go. 3, 2, 1, and.
Merry Christmas, Mr. Sigler. Merry Christmas. Thank you for all of your audiobooks over the years. They have made for fantastic listening while I have been riding on my sleigh across the world bringing presents to children. So thank you, and keep those audiobooks coming. Merry Christmas.
Merry
to you
Christmas.
and yours. Oh.
So I especially love this.
Dude, I got Santa on speed dial. That's how I roll. Santa's on speed dial, bro. Oh, sorry.
This junkie's name is Stephen Hannaberry, and Stephen Hannaberry, like, just out of the blue did that and sent it to Scott because this is the first year that he's played Santa where he's had to do that virtually, and that made it possible for him to do that. So, Stephen, thank you so much also for making sure you got this done.
I want to point out, I got to go to the chat room. This is very good.
Oh, Lord. What's happening?
Chris McWhite asks, is there a fear of Santa? To which I respond, trichosantophobia. And then, of course, Shannon chimes in with claustrophobia. And I'm like, come on, how did I
She
miss
absolutely
it?
wins the internet today.
You wish you win that, Shannon. That's plus 20 experience points. That's utterly fantastic. All right, so now we got 19 minutes to go. That is, and now we've got a little empty set updates.
Yeah, we got a couple of empty set updates. Let's do this.
Right there. You know,
the first one is that currently the Gangster audiobook and the Gangster ebook are in production for publication. That means that we, the both of us, are done with everything that we have to do with them. All the editing, all the fixes, all the whatever. The Iceberg, Steve Rickyberg, is done with all the work he had to
put
do
in
on the
yeoman's-
audiobook, as you guys know.
yeoman's
work. Yeah, he did
Incredible.
an amazing job. When you guys were goofing off and being like, it's the holidays, I'm just going to do nothing, he was working every single day
I
in
feel like
December.
Steve had like a little trickle of sweat coming down this temple right here. Like, I gotta get it done. I get so many goddamn voices, so I gotta get it done.
Yeah, and he had to invent a handful of new voices that we have not heard. Different characters or aliens that you have not yet seen in the GFL, and you'll understand when we get there. But those were great. He did a whole bunch of work. Hey, Kyle Jacobson, we're about to talk about you in a minute, too.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Also, I'd like to point out, Steve, you can tell Steve was working kind of nonstop in the empty set mode. When we're on deadline, we're all about the deadline. We got to get stuff done. All of our projects are, they're in, it's not like I'm going to take 10 minutes to knock this out. These are projects that take months and months and months. And I know that one of Steve's stress relievers was cutting out clips of me getting frustrated with myself or trying out new voices and sending them to A. So like Steve be like, I need a break. I'm going to clip out this ridiculous audio, Scott being ridiculous, and sending it. Hopefully we can bring them into a show.
Oh yeah. So
later.
here's the thing. We've already talked, Steve and I have already talked about this. If you've ever been to a Sigler Fest, and I think we actually played one on Sigler in Place back in like May, Steve collects,
Hey, buddy.
Steve collects clips of sort of outtakes. And we always play them at Sigler Fest. We played one of them here on Sigler in Place. And as soon as we get a little further into the Gangster, so there are no spoilers, you will hear. But my favorite thing is now Scott's aware that if he screws up too much, Steve is going to clip it. So there are a handful of times where what he does is, like, Scott will get in the booth and put on his headphones and is like, all right, I already know you're going to make fun of me about this, so fuck you, Steve. Sorry, I'll pay the $1, Richard. Sorry. And every time he does, Steve is like, I am obligated to send this to you because Scott called me out by name. So we're going to show those together. It's going to be great.
Yeah, Jen, we will have a blooper reel. Also, I would like to point out that thanks to Chris McWhite, after we do Executive Decision, we have to do RoboCop. We have to do Story Select about RoboCop.
We have to do RoboCop.
It's one of my favorite movies of all time.
I'm in.
Yeah.
I'm absolutely in. That's a great idea. Let's do that.
All right, so we are 15 minutes to go, and you've got that all updated? Oh, and then
I do.
Zoom?
So the only other thing is I'll say, that's why I mentioned Mr. J, who is our friend Kyle Jacobson, who is in the chat room now. If you guys have children, if you are teachers, if you know children who are struggling with Zoom classes again this year, Scott has always done classroom Skypes, classroom Zooms, that kind of thing. We've done 2 in the last week. We had
This is my hero pose.
an absolutely gorgeous, super fun Zoom with Oak Prairie Junior High School in
Yeah, super
Chicago,
fun.
which is Mr. J, who is Kyle, who I just mentioned. Invited us, and it was super fun. The kids were super inquisitive. They asked a whole bunch of great questions. We had a great time. And then just yesterday, Mr. Conti, who I don't think is in the chat room because he's East Coast, so I think he's got a toddler and is in bed. But we Zoomed with his classroom. And if you want Scott to come talk about creative writing, if you want Scott to come talk about his career as an independent, if you want us both there, we're happy to do that. And we're happy to do that even if they're not your kids, but you're like the class librarian or you're like the secretary at the school and you think this would be beneficial, just like us. You guys are at home probably for the next half year at least. If we can help,
Get it.
we would be happy to help. Just email info@emptyset. The best thing to do, if any of you guys are listening and you know a kid who's in a classroom who may like this, two things. One, the ebook bundle is still free at emptyset.com. I think it's the third post down. You can download most of the ebooks for the GFL and a handful of other things. And two, you just send an email or you share info@emptyset with the librarian or the teacher, and they will email us, and we'll set that up, and we'll spend a period talking to those kids.
Yeah, we'll get you the hookup. And we don't want to confuse the word hookup with kids, but we'll get you hooked up on the books. Brian Kane pointed out real quick, he said, the RoboCop better be the original RoboCop, not that awful remake. To which I respond, there's no such thing as a RoboCop remake.
There's
it does
no
not.
remake.
I didn't see it. I didn't watch it. How do you screw up the RoboCop costume? I'm like, I didn't even watch that. I didn't watch it.
Yeah, Emily, please, anybody who comes into your store looking for an idea, because the kids can get all the books on their phone too, and we'll talk with them. Also, if any of you guys are students or teachers or parents or whatever, we also do a buy one get one. So a school library can email or can order from us and say, I would like, one rookie, and we'll send them one rookie and one starter for the cost of one rookie. They can buy one or two GFL books for the price of one if they're a school library. So that's for all around the world. Shipping might be a problem if it's ex-US, but we'll figure it out.
We'll figure it out.
But yeah.
Also, Nelson points out Executive Decision is streaming most places for $2.99. I have not seen this movie, and I'm a huge Steven Seagal fan, so that's going to be very fun. You guys should watch that. And he also pointed out that RoboCop is on Amazon Prime right now. So if you have Amazon Prime, you can watch RoboCop. Technically it's not free, but it don't cost you nothing.
Doesn't cost you much.
You know what I heard?
Just the time it takes to
I heard if you want to find out how to get free stuff, you got to talk to Nick Betts. He knows how to bet on stuff. That's what I'm saying. Nick Betts will get it taken care of for you. It's all right.
Okay. Yeah, Emily, I'm with you. We get a lot of emails from folks who are saying and we've had a handful of junkies, especially one in particular who's 14 years old, who we met last year at Siglerfest. His mom was like, he would love to have you Zoom into his class. And we'd love that. All we need is the access, the right people to talk to. You can imagine how inappropriate it would be for us to just email and say, hey, here's this American writer who would like to talk to you. And if you look up his books on Amazon or Goodreads, we talk a lot about the cursing. So it sort of has to come to us.
Yes.
We can't go out and look for it because that's creepy.
Yes.
But we're good for it. It's super easy to do. It's really fun for us, and we would love that.
Chris McWright knows a guy who can get us a free copy of RoboCop.
A free copy.
You know what? Listen, it's not going to cost you nothing, but I'll call you later how you can take care of this is what I'm trying to say to you. I think that's, is that about it, babe?
We do. Yeah, we have a few minutes. Would you like to do a handful of questions?
Oh, would I like to do questions? Hold on. Let's go to 3. Wait, got to go back to here. Got to go back to the main. I'm unprepared for this song, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to give it a try. Questions. Any questions? We are a teacher who's exhausted because of the Zoom classes. Questions. Look at the circles under my eyes because I'm being forced to work in a COVID-centric place, and it's going to kill me before I kill these kids. That's our questions. Ladies and gentlemen.
Tracy Shank has it totally right. She's like, I hang out here because it's like high school. I feel you. We're not supposed to curse, but sometimes it happens and we talk about nothing.
Tracy, I feel that I've overachieved. It is my desire to make this like junior high. I want this to be junior high level humor. I've already made one poop joke. I still haven't sworn, have I? For this whole show.
I did. I don't know that you
That's
did.
because you got a potty mouth. It's filthy.
I'm a New Yorker.
It's ridiculous.
Have you met my mother?
Yeah, I have.
My mother not only curses like a sailor, she wears combat boots.
Mike Words, real quick, asks, since we're in questions, Mike, you get the first question. How monumental was being on Joe Rogan, and how did he approach you about coming on? Well, Joe Rogan's booker, and I don't know if I'm supposed to say the person's name.
Name him.
Joe Rogan's booker is a pal, and also it was a pal through the publisher because Joe Rogan's booker worked for one of the publishers I wrote for. doing some sci-fi blogging type stuff. That's all I'll say. But he's like, hey man, you want to be on Rogan? And I was like, yes, I do. And there was also another fan involved too who kind of was campaigning for it. So I got him on, what's Adam's?
Carolla.
I was on Adam Carolla. I was on Joe Rogan twice, which I'm quite proud of.
And Hardwick twice.
And I was on Nerdist twice when it was with Chris Hardwick's show. So I had some fans campaigning, but going on Rogan was awesome because I've been a huge Rogan fan since Broadcast News. I forget the name of his sitcom.
Fear Factor.
Well, before Fear Factor.
Because I was just saying he was also on Fear Factor.
Talk News, whatever the hell the show was.
Talk radio?
Talk radio.
Soup?
Talk radio. Anyways, I'm a big Joe Rogan fan. I follow Joe Rogan's podcast, and when I was able to go on there, it was awesome because also it was neat to be on the show.
News radio. That's it.
News radio, and at the same time, you know, we've been podcasting for a long time. We know what we're doing. We've built an audience. We've been very successful in this medium. You could listen to a Joe Rogan podcast and just sort of immediately get this high on, understands this art form at a different level than we do. It's something that can't be put into words, but he just gets the whole environment of podcasting and a talk show on podcasts. So watching his ascent, which of course is fueled by his fame and Fear Factor, and of course, watching the UFC and being a huge UFC fan and watching his knowledge and being a fan of him as a combat sports commentator, it was absolutely thrilling. And getting to go on there once was great. Getting to go on there twice was awesome.
Well, and I now know he's moved and stuff, but we were at his studio in LA,
Yep.
and he has a life-sized replica of the American Werewolf in London.
That's right.
He did, obviously, in his lobby when you first walked into that studio. And that studio was in a completely nondescript, now that it's not there, I'll tell you all about it, in a nondescript strip mall.
Like a strip mall office building.
Totally nondescript place in LA, and the front windows, there was no signage or whatever, and the front windows were blacked out as if the space was unrented kind of thing. Like it was just totally, you walk in and it had pitch perfect lighting on that beautiful life-sized American Werewolf in London. And you literally, he was like, we were so floored. And Joe Rogan was like, I mean, you can touch it. Everybody wants to touch his teeth. You can touch his teeth if you want. He was totally cool about it, which is lovely because guess what? If you get to actually pet the American Werewolf in London, you want to do that.
I'll sum it up. It is absolutely one of the highlights of my career. I think Joe catches a lot of crap for a lot of different reasons. He's good at pushing buttons. He's good at pushing the envelope and drawing attention to himself, which is something we don't really do the same way. But much respect for his ability to build a business and an audience and employ a lot of people. But getting to go on the show was just incredible and awesome. And plus, we've been to several of his stand-ups live, and he and Chris Hardwick both are tacticians. You can hear them on the podcast, and you can hear bits come to life. And these guys are. They are, you can tell they put in the wrench time. When you see a Joe Rogan stand up, that dude has put in the work to find the right stuff and make it work and fail until he wins. And it's amazing.
Can I please talk about the last time we saw Rogan in San Diego with the couple that was in front of them?
Yes.
Us in front of us. First, I will say, Howard, I actually brought up the prop so that you would love that story, I thought. I thought as a movie buff like you are, you would appreciate that it was beautiful. So the last time we saw Rogan, it was in San Diego at the Balboa Theater. It was beautiful. And Joe sent Scott tickets and he brought me with him.
That's so great.
And we, at the time, I think we're always working. And Scott still lived downtown. And so we worked. And then we went, it's maybe like 4 blocks from where the office used to be to where the theater was.
Okay.
And we stopped for a drink along the way, like a cocktail along the way. And then we sat down. And right in front of us was the most glorious couple. The woman had such crazy big Dolly Parton wig hair that I had to have
good.
Scott. Yeah, she looked great.
She looked good.
But I'm shorter than Scott, so I had to have us switch seats because I couldn't see. I could see through her hair only vaguely, and he's taller than me. So we switched seats, and clearly she was high as a kite. It was glorious.
Listen, ladies and gentlemen, if you have children watching, it's time to turn it off. Turn off the children.
My goodness.
Turn off the children.
It was so fun.
Okay, well, are the children gone?
I think so.
Okay. So, when I went on Joe Rogan, both times, the first thing Joe said to me was, do you want to get high? Because Joe tends to, I don't know how often, but some of his shows,
all the time,
he is under the influence of the weed. And I, of course, get very nervous when I'm on a show that's as big as one of these, and I don't want to screw up. I don't want to say something stupid. I want to I want to at least look smart. So I said no. But then I got to go see Joe Rogan live in San Diego, and like sweet, really good tickets. And we got, I'm not going to lie, I was under the influence. I will say that. So I got to watch in my brain, that Joe Rogan stand-up lasted 9.5 hours, and every second of it, my whole body hurt from laughing when I got out of there. It was magic and incredible. Let's see if we got. I've got.
So
Ed,
wait, hang on. No, yeah.
keep
Ed
talking.
had a
But
question.
Ed, you got to ask your question. I don't see it.
Ask the question. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I wasn't going to say that unless he said that. So I'm so glad because I still had to drive home back in the day, right? Like we weren't living together. We weren't. I'm not sure if we were even dating then, but I had to drive home. So he partook because every time he'd met Joe before that, he'd said yes, and he was like, "Yeah, I don't think I'll do that on TV." And it was glorious because I made Scott switch seats with me with the big-haired lady, and then he was like, "This is crazy. Do you see this? What is this?" It was her hair. It was her hair.
Incredible.
That he was having the effects, the special effects was literally him trying to look at the stage through her hair. It was glorious. It was wonderful, wonderful. So,
all right, I have Ed's question, and this is spoiler related, Ed. So I'll do the best I can.
For which?
It's just a giant spoiler. Ed is, I believe this Mount Fitzroy question. It says the enemy of the rocked by showed up near the end, but only for the encounter in the tunnels. How did they get there? Ed, why don't you email info@emptyset with that question, and I will address it offline because I'm not quite following what you're saying, and I feel that to answer that, it's going to be a giant spoiler for people who have not yet read Earthcore and Mount Fitzroy. So we will address it absolutely, but send us a direct email.
Exactly. I have a couple of questions already lined up.
Shoot.
So Sean, who's in the chat room, Sean Dyer, asked me a question that I'm going to answer. A, do Scott's books still hold some big surprises for you on your first full read-through?
That question's for you?
Mm-hmm.
Sweet.
Or does Scott bounce most of those ideas off you by the time the book is put together? And I'll be honest, it used to be Scott's preference was that I read once there was a full first draft and not before. Mm-hmm. And so he would talk to some of the secret agents. He would talk to JP. He would talk to Chris Grawl. He would talk to John. He talks to John every day, John Vizcarra.
Every day.
But I wouldn't read it. And in fact, I didn't read The Reef until it was just pre-publication. I did the very last read-through when he was recording it. But now, because the books are so complex, and now we're, especially with the GFL, we're so far into it, and it's so big. Now we have a deal where it's sort of, if he needs to talk to, and of course we're in lockdown as well. I forgot to mention that. There's not a lot of people he can talk to. Now he'll talk to me and he'll just say, I have to spoil you because we have to talk about it. So for the Stone Wolves and for The Gangster, which are the next two books that will be coming out, I'm not sure when I finally read it all the way through. I would say I was probably 60% spoiled, maybe 50. But that's okay because our job is to make the best book we can. And one of the ways I can help, because I don't write anything, I don't do anything. He's the factor. He's the idea guy, right? So
she doesn't do anything in the story. To say she doesn't do anything is ludicrous.
But I mean, I don't make any of those choices. I don't write any of the chapters. Thank you. I was trying to figure that out.
We're going to figure out the problem.
That's exactly the problem. If you guys can't hear the difference, my mic was misaligned, and so I was very hot a lot of the time. So anyhow, I am often quite spoiled. That said, there are a couple of times when that is beneficial for me, and it's also beneficial for you guys. And The Gangster is a great example. John Vizcarra and Scott know more about the GFL probably than everybody else on earth, right? Yeah. They together Scott has the idea of what's coming, and John has this very, very rich, very deep, inherent knowledge of what's been. And so together they do a great thing. But in The Gangster, there's one huge thing that happens, and you'll know it. It happens to the main character, who's not Quentin. And I was like, no, you've already talked. I had this one tiny kernel of knowledge from one of the novellas. Like, no, this you've already mentioned. This will work. And they were like, no, I don't think so. I'm like, no, I'll find it. And so I'm grateful for that, because I don't mind being spoiled if it makes a better story. And I don't mind being spoiled if it opens up a huge amount of creativity in his brain. And that was the first time that had happened. And so, yeah, I'm mostly spoiled is the answer.
Oh, all right. So real quick, I had to spoil Scott Pond yesterday. Scott Pond is our empty set in-house designer. So he got spoiled in order to make the cover for The Gangster, which he's the hardcover for The Gangster, which he's working on right now. Prop-based, a lot of graphics. He had to understand what the prop meant. So I had to ask him, like, are you sure you want to know? And, of course, he has to know. We're going to see... somebody has a question here. Spencer Adams asks, some of your new minions want to know where Nocturnal fits in the Siglerverse. I'm not sure what to tell them. Spencer, is that you? Are you one of the new minions? All right, I will tell you. Nocturnal fits in. There are four different eras in the Siglerverse, right? There is the GFL, which is the most advanced era we're going to get to chronologically. Then 200 years, and that is set 750 to 800 years from now. Then there's the Crypt, which is 200 years before the GFL. So 2 full centuries, which is, when you think about America in 1821, it's a massive, massive shift. The Crypt era is more like a warish Star Trek. It's super, super brutal, and you guys will be seeing more of that soon. Then there is the modern era. The modern era is infected, contagious, pandemic, ancestor, Earth core, Mount Fitzroy, whatever else we come up with next. So where does Nocturnal fit? It fits in the modern era. There are events happening in Nocturnal that are actually referenced in Mount Fitzroy. And then at some point we'll have to address what happened to Nocturnal in San Francisco during what was happening in pandemic. So don't know if that'll be a book, but that's where it fits and everything. And then the era that has yet to be revealed is the pre-modern era. And there will be some fun prequels, hopefully a Nocturnal prequel, almost guaranteed at some point an Ancestor prequel starring Clayton Detweiler. But that is the answer to your question.
That's going to be so fun. I did have one, and you kept adding so I know we're late, but I'd like to ask one more question.
Go for it. You guys, if you want to hang up because we're past our 7:00 Pacific time. Cheers. Love you.
Cheers. But we missed you, so we're gonna do a little bit more.
Here's some Siglerism on your face. Ah.
Oh Lord.
I didn't swear though.
So Adam Ledford asks, we all remember Angus School's affinity for peanuts when naming things.
Yep.
I understand the diversion with, quote, Dirty Randy's money shot, end quote. But my question is about Oberon.
All right.
I thought, since it was also referred to as a, quote, dog, that it would have been named after one of Snoopy's siblings. But I looked that up, and Snoopy's sibling's name is Spike. Where did this come from?
The Oberon is a hat tip to Mr. Kevin Hearn, the author of the Iron Druid series, who has a dog in his books named
Oberon.
And if you've not read Kevin Hearn's Iron Druid series, you are only hurting yourself. You're only hurting yourself. It's wonderful. Yeah. It's magic. It's great.
And it's easy to read in a pandemic. It's a feel good story that you can. And I will tell you a little bit more info.
So good. Yeah.
Oberon. So the Iron Druid is the last known druid on Earth, and he's in real time. He's in Phoenix in the 2000s, which of course means he's the only druid on Earth, and he has bound himself to Earth, which is what druids do. They're Earth magic people, and he because he spent his 1,000 years alone, he has created the same longevity that he has for his Irish wolfhound Oberon, and he has created a link between their minds so that Oberon can communicate with him via the earth. And I know that sounds like a whole lot, and I know that sounds like crazy magic. However, Oberon is the part of your brain that loves everything and thinks you're amazing, right? So Oberon is terrible at figuring out how time works, but loves the Iron Druid, also loves sausages, and also loves other dogs, and especially French poodles. And so it's lovely because it's a charming story. It's worth it. There's no big drama that happens in the Iron Druid that you couldn't handle in a pandemic. So if you haven't listened to it and you want to, I would highly recommend it.
So I mention authors all the time, Jonathan Mayberry, Nicholas Ansbury Smith, Jeremy Robinson, Pierce Brown. I rattle off these guys like you cannot go wrong with these particular authors because they just always deliver in whatever environment they're operating in. They deliver. And
Yes.
Kevin Hearn, the Taco Pope.
The Taco Pope, yes.
As Daniel Baker said, the Taco Pope is dope. Kevin Hearn, if you haven't read the Iron Druid series and you've already read all my stuff, then you should go listen to it.
And I will give you one more tiny little entreaty. One of the reasons that Oberon appears in Mount Fitzroy is because so the Iron Druid series is I think finished and moving on to something else.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing that Kevin Hearn did after the Iron Druid series was he wrote a very lighthearted, fun book called Kill the Farm Boy.
Mm-hmm.
He co-wrote it with Delilah Dawson, who's also a great writer you should check out. And in Kill the Farm Boy, there is a character called Fott Figler? Fott Figler.
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 Because I told
Yeah.
one time, I'll tell this real quick. We go to this fancy pants. Calvin and I are both signed by Del Rey at the time. And we're being the publishers have this tendency to spend money on authors to make them feel special. So like take you out to a fancy dinner, do a cool thing, bring you to a con. And a lot of others could you just spend that money on marketing? Because that would be great. But Del Rey does this. So we get to go to a dinner and it's me and Kevin and Pierce Brown
and Mike Braff, who's an editor at Del Rey,
But
and Trisha Narwani.
Trisha Narwani.
Ann Leckie?
No, Ann Leckie wasn't there.
Who's Kate Ogden's Robin?
Well, if you think about it, let me know.
Robin Hobb.
And Robin. But anyways, there's all these wonderful authors, wonderful people, and it's one of those head-blowing moments, where you're like, oh my God, I've read these people and loved their work, and now I'm at dinner with them and sort of like an equal with them. We're all kind of contemporaries, which is a weird literary word. So we go, and of course, I start drinking, and I wind up telling Kevin Hearn and Pierce Brown and a couple other people an incredibly inappropriate story that involves figs. And Kevin just with his giant, at the time he had the giant beard, and he just sort of,
the goatee.
At some point in the story, he just sort of sat back, and it was like, you could see, he's like, this is entertaining, and I cannot believe another human being is telling me this story in public in front of his bosses and his coworkers, so I'm just going to see how this goes. Story involves figs. Kevin then named my story something Figler.
But that was the same lamb lollipop night. So they made lamb shank lollipop so you could pick it up by the bone, and they all toasted with whatever, all that stuff. And at one point, literally, Scott's not wrong. Kevin was like, you should not be saying this in public. And literally was like, you should not be saying this in public, Figler.
So,
and then here we are 5 years later, he ends up giving a tribute to that one moment in his book, Kill the Farm Boy.
Yeah.
And so Scott needed a name for a dog, and Oberon I love very much. Oberon, one of my best friends on earth, and I bonded over Oberon, and so he was like, I need a name for a dog. It's like, I would always choose Oberon.
Yeah.
He's like, done.
And
so there we go.
It was one, I'm like, I should have thought of that before. And gosh darn it. Who was the other co-writer with
Delilah Dawson?
Delilah Dawson was also at that dinner too. It was
Yeah.
She's amazing.
Yes,
So,
Shannon, there it is. I was so thrilled about Oberon so damn much. Me too. That's the reference I was mentioning.
So there you go, guys. We'll do. If there's any other questions in the chat room, we're running along.
Classic. We will say there's not yet an update on the Descendant, the Ancestor sequel. It's not on the schedule, but it is in the potential. It's in the potential. So it sort of matters how things happen.
I know how it starts. I know how it ends. And I believe in my heart of hearts that I have a plot twist in that I didn't do it. I didn't swear.
Mother fluffer.
I got a plot twist in that fig-tastic story that all of you will be like, oh, shoot, he's the goat. It's a goat plot twist, dog. It is a goat straight plot twist. I can't wait. Hopefully I'll bring it to you.
Ed, Keith, if you're still in here, thank you so much for joining.
Yeah, Will says an Ancestor preview would be awesome. It'll be great because I get to celebrate the Rat Pack if I write the prequel to Ancestor, because Clayton Detweiler hung out with Marilyn Monroe and Frank Sinatra and Sammy and Dean and all the guys. Everybody's going to be in the island. It's going to be so friggin' spectacular if I get timed right. But the next thing on the docket is GFL 7, which is first draft's already done. I got to make sure that's coordinated with GFL 6 and the Stonewolves. And then it's time for the crypt. It's the crypt, and
So, Mr. Sigler,
yes,
unfortunately, I tried to do just one more question, but Sean and Sherry colluded.
Collusion!
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 And we're already past 10, so let's just go to 15.
Hey,
Sherry
Ed.
Hare asked,
Ed Keith says thanks again. Yes, go.
Yeah, I already, do the Rocked by Underground gardens have any ties or anything to do with the big gardens on the ships in the Generation trilogy? The first thing I'll say before Scott says anything is if you guys haven't read the Generations trilogy, this might be a spoiler, so beware.
I'm flat out not going to answer that question.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah.
So you have it.
Not answering that question.
So
at
much
this
for your
time.
collusion, Sherry and Sean.
You guys can collude all you want. The commissioner of the GFL will not truck with your collusion. It's not going to happen. All right, ladies and gentlemen, now it is time to see if A and I can get through the boilerplate that we have written to end the show every goddamn week, and yet we still have difficulty making it happen. Let's see how this goes.
As you guys already know, you have any questions about anything, but especially anything to contribute or ask about Sigler in Place, you email info@emptyset.com and we will get it in there. We may not get it in there the next episode, but we'll get it in there.
We will be back Wednesday, January 27th, 2021, which is, all right, all of you who stuck around, we're going to need some pictures. We're going to need some pictures at this point because January 27th, I didn't make this up. This is a real national holiday. It is Library Selfie Day. So we're
Also known as the Shelfie.
The Shelfie. So we're going to need you to send us your Sigler Shelfie with all your books. Be creative. You can send your shelf. That's okay. If you want to strap books onto your dog or cat, we can do that too. If you're going to make a Colombian drug run and pick up a couple of keys of White Flake, you can take some pictures of my books next to the White Flake. That's okay too. That's
maybe just the first two.
Just don't get shot. That's all I want. And no chainsaws. That's bad for business.
And also don't buy Flake. Unless it's a chocolate you get in London.
I don't judge. I don't do it, but I don't judge. All right, baby.
All right. So until then.
Whoops. Whoop, that was fast. There we are. We're over here.
We, guys, really, this year, come on now. We need you guys to stay safe. Please stay safe.
And you know what? We need you to stay smart because that's in short frickin' supply right now.
And we absolutely need you to stay science.
And for the love of science, listen to the people who've studied things their whole damn life. All of the predictions about another spike are coming true. We've got another spike coming. Please listen to people who know what they're doing and stay informed. And like Nick Betts would always say, listen, if you're going to take a bet on the science, bet on the scientists. That's what Nick Betts would say.
You want to smooch it out?
What happened if... Oh.
We're done.
Hold on. Now I gotta sign off on all you people. All right. This is our part of the show where you can all kiss off into the sky. Ladies and gentlemen,